Hey guys, Adam right here. Here's gaming news about Dying Light 2, Cult of the Lamb, Spider-Man 2, PS5 prices, the Steam Deck, changes to Xbox Store, and upcoming games and their release dates and platform. Little Nightmares 3 just got announced. I would have mentioned that in my intro, but this just happened, and you can do co-op for the first time in the franchise, or choose an AI companion. You follow the journey of Lo and Alone as they search for a path that could lead them out of the nowhere. Trapped within the Spiral, a cluster of disturbing places, the two friends will have to work together to survive in a dangerous world full of delusions and escape the grasp of an even greater threat lurking in the shadows. So that's releasing sometime in 2024 on PC, PS4 and PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. Phasmophobia is coming to consoles later this August. You guys will have crossplay, free content updates, and seasonal events. It'll be on PS5, PlayStation VR 2, and Xbox Series X and S. Dying Light 2 will get a point system in the next update. Points are used to buy packs. Everyone gets a free 500 points, although this could be a problem if our points are glued to the screen while playing and we can't hide them, and or if the prices of bundles are secretly raised because it's behind a point system, as well as constant leftover points after buying bundles, giving you the negative urge to have to buy more point packs to make use of your extra points, instead of an accurate transaction. I'll cover more on this in a separate video for those of you guys that watch me for my Dying Light 2 videos. Cult of the Lamb has a Don't Starve crossover, and they plan to release more content late 2023. And did you guys know, random fact, that you can actually pet your dog followers? I would show you a dog, but I have a cat. The Spider-Man 2 PS5 bundle is back in stock on PlayStation's website. The PS5 has a discount in some parts of Europe, such as a £70 cut in England. You guys can get a certified refurbished Steam Deck at discounts of up to $130. I'll put up on screen all the prices for the refurbished and for the regular Steam Deck, and as you guys can see, all the refurbished Steam Decks are out of stock, but I just wanted to let you guys know there's a refurbished option. Valve does the repairs themselves. The Steam Deck gets a complete reset, software update, and undergoes 100 tests at a Valve facility. All refurbished units meet or even exceed the performance standards of new retail units. So I guess it's possible you could get one that's even better than the regular version. It comes with a 1-year warranty as well, so if you guys are looking for a Steam Deck and want to save some money, the refurbished route is a good choice. There's two big Xbox news for you guys as well. The Xbox 360 store is closing July 29th, 2024. You won't be able to buy digital games or any DLC, but you can still play all your digital content after the store closes. If you delete a game you bought, you can still re-download it. Now, if you're on the Xbox One or Xbox Series X or S, you can still buy backwards compatible Xbox 360 games and DLC. If there's any old Xbox 360 digital games you want to get, now's the time because over 200 digital-only games will go away once the Xbox 360 store closes. The second big Xbox news I have for you guys is as of August 15th, Xbox now has a new strike-based enforcement system. Xbox players can receive up to 8 strikes against their Xbox account if they violate Xbox community rules. If you reach 8 strikes, you'll be banned from Xbox's social features like messaging, parties, and party chat for 1 year. Star Wars Jedi Survivor is coming to the PS4 and Xbox One. Even though they're working on these ports, they still plan to make improvements on the current gen platforms, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Now just a warning, the game was originally designed for current gen, so if you want this on last gen, I'd be careful and wait for reviews before buying. Oxenfree 2 released July 12th, 2023. Surprisingly, I've seen people say they didn't know about it despite Oxenfree being widely known and praised. Street Fighter 6 got a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover, and now's a good time for me to mention, PlayStation recently revealed a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game called TMNT The Last Ronin for the PS5. I had to add some bass for that. 90s kids are gonna be freaking out right now. The Atomic Heart Annihilation Instinct DLC came out August 2nd. The second episode for The Expanse, a Telltale series, came out August 10th. And here's when all the episodes released for The Expanse, with a bonus episode you guys might not know about, Archangel, for the Deluxe Edition, that releases sometime in fall 2023. Also, on August 10th, Stray the cat game came to Xbox One and Xbox Series X and S. And what could go wrong with more cats besides more fluff and more poop? The Texas Chainsaw Massacre came out August 18th, 2023. It's basically Dead by Daylight, except you have chainsaws, and you decide to chainsaw people or be chainsawed. Either one doesn't sound pleasant. And for those interested in Black Myth Wukong, a demo came out which you had to sign up for, and even though it's over now, you guys will be able to find new gameplay online. Modern Warfare 3. After someone data mined it, here's what they found. Zombie mode returns with Outbreak. All the original Modern Warfare 2 maps will be in Modern Warfare 3. Slide cancel and reload cancel come back. Faster movements such as mantling while sprinting, increased tactical sprint duration, and it recharges while sprinting. Strafe speeds, ADS, classic minimap returns with red dots on the map. Players will have a slight HP increase at 150. Map voting returns. Perks use a gear system. All Modern Warfare 2 bundles, operators, and weapons carry over, which really should have happened from Modern Warfare 1 to Modern Warfare 2. And multiplayer modes include all your standard modes and Cutthroat, Ground War, and War mode. Let's specifically talk about Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. Modern Warfare 3 Zombies is a combination of Outbreak and DMZ. So you have 1 hour to survive and then you exfil at the end. It's on the new Warzone map, which is based in Germany. 4-player squads up to 24 players, but PvE only. Buy stations, wall buys, mystery boxes, pack-a-punch, all that stuff comes back, and exfil has rewards. The beta for Modern Warfare 3 is October 6th to the 10th for PlayStation, and then all other platforms October 12th to the 16th. Overwatch 2 is now the worst rated game on Steam. When it came to Steam, Blizzard said they want to make it easier for players to find and enjoy their games, even though they kept it only on Battle.net for many years. A major problem being Overwatch 2 locks new heroes behind its premium Battle Pass. Speaking of Battle Passes, NBA 2K24 has a Battle Pass. Isn't that crazy?
Are you serious?
If you pay for the regular edition for the game, you get 40 rewards. Then there's a Pro version in the Battle Pass, which is $10 for more rewards, and then there's a Hall of Fame version for $20 for more rewards. Keep in mind this is on top of paying for the base game. I can barely say this with a straight face, because NBA has never had this before. This is a clear example of how a developer wants to make more money than they want to make a better game. And speaking of a better game, that includes all the content with the base game, with no microtransactions, a developer that actually cares about their game and the people that spend their hard-earned money on it, Baldur's Gate. To summarize all the drama you guys might have heard, Baldur's Gate not only included no microtransactions and no battle pass, but there's so much content, and that content is so good because of the many different outcomes you get from your choices and many other reasons. There's actually an insane amount of different outcomes, like Telltale times 10,000. So they nailed both quantity and quality, and other developers started complaining people shouldn't raise their expectations too high, and that Baldur's Gate shouldn't set the bar for what games should be like. In other words, developers are saying, don't get used to having access to all the content in the game when you buy it, and don't get used to tons of good quality content. Instead, you better like battle passes, limited content, and the quality is good, maybe higher in some places, and you better be okay with that. Since Baldur's Gate is such a great game, you might not like our watered down 10 to 25 hour replay value, battle pass, microtransaction ridden, stuttering FPS broken at launch, limited to no communication from us to you, inaccurately portrayed in the trailers, money first, customer second game. Now there's several important points that I want to make from the Baldur's Gate situation. 1. Even if a game has tons of content and is much larger than other games, we can still enjoy smaller games. For instance, Skyrim was one of the biggest games ever made with tons of content, but people still enjoyed games with less content, like Hollow Knight, Slime Rancher, Resident Evil, Hades, Left 4 Dead, Plants vs. Zombies, Phasmophobia, and more. People can enjoy and appreciate small games the same time they can with big games. And 2, battle passes, microtransactions, and even different versions of games like Deluxe and Gold Editions are actually not the normal. For those of us that were born in the 90s, you put Metal Gear Solid, Crash Bandicoot, and Spyro the Dragon into the PlayStation, and it was done. You played the game and everything it offered. That was normal, and really should still be the normal these days. But some developers have made games infested with greedy ways to make money that people have gotten used to it, especially kids that unfortunately have grown up with these kind of games. This isn't a new standard that Baldur's Gate has set forth. It's the old standard that current day developers want us to forget, so we just accept microtransactions and limited content. We work hard for our money, and we just let it go to people that don't work as hard for their money. Instead of a game that takes many years to build, some developers like releasing their games yearly, and it seems like they could have easily put it together in one game. But it's spread out, constantly milking the money out of people's pockets. When you combine that with all the battle passes and microtransactions, you're going to be spending a lot of money. Maybe more than you realize. Love or hate Baldur's Gate, they did another thing right, which is another problem in the gaming industry. Baldur's Gate was in early access for a while, and they used early access the way it was originally intended. Listen to feedback from people playing their games, and then implementing the feedback into the game to make it better and more enjoyable, while giving the developers the time they need to fix everything. Sadly, other developers will use early access as a quick way to profit off the game that never really changes from its initial early access version to its full version, and they abandon the game. And now let's talk about upcoming games and their release dates. I'm going to have the information on the platform and release date on screen. It's all going to be timestamped in the description and the comment below. So here we go. Phasmophobia is a 4-player online co-op game coming to consoles with crossplay later this August. The Lost Glitches is a cyberpunk card game with over 300 cards. Fort Solis is a third-person space game where you're on Mars. You play as an engineer, not a soldier. So instead of shooting your way through things, you'll use a multi-tool for hacking doors, opening locks, and powering up things as you navigate the planet. Immortals of Avium comes out the same day and is a single-player first-person magic shooter. Your left hand has defensive magic moves, energy draining, and the ability to drag enemies for finishers, while your right hand jacks off or is for attack spells. An open beta for the First Descendant is out on the same day, which is a third-person co-op RPG shooter where you fight against invaders trying to kill all humans. Blasphemous 2 is a 2D Souls-like game with lots of blood and gore that plummets you in a strange new land, and this time around you have more customization and weapon options. Ride 5 comes out the same day. Ride 5 brings improved physics, over 35 tracks, 200 motorcycles, and split-screen returns. Armed Core 6 Fires of Rubicon is made by From Software, who made Elden Ring. You play as a robot that works for a company who sends you out eliminating targets, and even huge robots that are as tall as the sky. You can customize your mech, and there's even PvP. A closed beta for Skulls and Bones also releases the same day, which is a pirate sailing game where you start as an outcast and become a pirate captain. There's also co-op and PvP. This game is the Ubisoft version of Sea of Thieves, basically. Daymare 1994 Sandcastle is a third-person survival horror game, which is a prequel to the Daymare 1998 game. Goodbye Volcano High is a dinosaur-themed, choice-based narrative adventure about personal growth, change, and making things right before the world ends. Sea of Stars is a prequel to The Messenger and is a turn-based RPG of 2 children who combine the powers of the sun and moon to fight monsters. Under the Waves is a professional diver struggling to overcome his grief. As you guys can see, we have a lot of games coming out August 29th. Trine 5 is a side-scrolling platform puzzle game with 20 levels, 3 playable characters, and the 5th installment in the Trine series. A closed beta for Enshrouded comes out at some point in August, which is a survival action RPG. Starfield is the first new universe in 25 years from Bethesda. You explore space, you can customize your own spaceship, customize your home base on planets, have people you meet work at your base to help maintain it. The story is longer than any other Bethesda game, and you explore over 1,000 planets. The Crew Motorfest is a sequel to The Crew 2, making this the 3rd game in the Crew series. It's open world, however it's scaled down to a Hawaii island. You can control planes and boats, and since it's scaled down, the world might be more detailed and dense. Mortal Kombat 1 is a reboot that resets the timeline, so a lot of characters have different interactions with others, and the usual enemies are now friends, and you can choose what character will fight with you during your matches. With the press of a button and the usage of your meter, they can help you with your combos or to stop your opponent's combo. Lies of P comes out the same day as Mortal Kombat 1, which is a Souls-like game where you play as Pinocchio. There's a demo out for it which you can still play, and that's always a good sign when a developer is confident with their product unless you play a demo, just like Final Fantasy XVI. Witchfire is a dark fantasy roguelike shooter with strange weapons and magic where you hunt down a powerful witch. Keep in mind some of these games are only on the Epic Games Store, which I have listed in the details on the screen. Payday 3 is a co-op shooter where you go on heists. Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty is new DLC, which includes its own pre-order bonus, which you don't see often for DLC, a new story where you have to save the president, and a new area called Dogtown, which is a combat zone in Night City. EA Sports FC 24 is this year's EA football game that uses a new technology to record real-life matches and athletes known as Hypermotion V. Forza Motorsport is a new gen-only reboot. It'll be the franchise's first Xbox Series X and S game. Assassin's Creed Mirage has you play in Baghdad, and it looks a lot like the old Assassin's Creeds, and Ubisoft emphasizes that Mirage takes the series back to its roots. However, you can teleport and do a bunch of magical things, so keep that in mind if you want to get Mirage for the old-fashioned AC feel. Lords of the Fallen is a Souls-like game where you can use a lantern to go back and forth between the living world and the underworld. You also enter the underworld when you die, and then you have one chance to escape and return to the living world. So it's a really cool twist on the Souls genre. Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is a PS5 exclusive that continues the story of Peter Parker and Miles Morales, and they bring Venom into this one, who's voiced by Tony Todd. Super Mario Bros. Wonder is a new side-scrolling game that comes out the same day. Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1 will bring the first 5 Metal Gear games to the new gen platforms. Alan Wake 2 is a survival horror game that brings a new character into the mix. RoboCop Rogue City is about a part man, part machine, part cat. I'm just joking, he's not a puss. Okay. Whoa, Jesus, okay. No. Not my Ethernet cord. Anyway, part man, part machine, law enforcement robot. based on the original trilogy films about the future of law enforcement. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 brings the usual game modes, and also a Zombies Outbreak mode that you guys heard me talk about earlier, and this comes out in November as opposed to last year's Call of Duty's release in October. The day before is a zombie survival game that includes base building. Super Mario RPG is a remake and includes full 3D graphics and an updated soundtrack. Warhammer Age of Sigmar Realms of Ruin is a real-time strategy game set in the Warhammer Age of Sigmar universe. Avatar Frontiers of Pandora is a first-person game set in Pandora where you can use both human and Navi weapons. There's some games that don't have a specific release date, but you guys are going to enjoy them. I'll include the platforms they're on as well. Starting with Telltale's The Wolf Among Us 2. It's actually happening. For those of you guys that played the first one, we know how long this wait has been. We're honestly pretty lucky it's even happening as well because Telltale went under, as you guys know, and then they made this game. You play as a detective and a wolf at the same time. Like other Telltale games, you make a series of choices that impact the story. Hades 2 is a roguelike dungeon crawler. In the sequel, you play as the prince's sister. Ark 2 stars Vin Diesel in this new story. Cross-platform modern, third-person only, Souls-like melee combat, and just a bigger and improved open world. Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2 is a sequel to the 2011 Space Marine. Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl is an FPS horror game that has also felt like that in real life, as the developers making this have been working on this for many years, enduring bombings, and some of them having to leave to fight the war in Ukraine. And these developers have been through a lot of adversity, so hopefully their game turns out well and people enjoy it. So there's an update on gaming news. Some games you might have missed, and DLC you might have missed as well. Please don't destroy my cords. And upcoming games with their release dates and platforms. So I might make more gaming news in the future, covering big games and small games. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments what games you're looking forward to. And if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.